Hello, right, I'm here with David Weiss. I would say, I mean, David, I don't know how you would take this. Do you consider yourself one of the prominent flat earthers now?
People consider me one of the predominant flat
Yeah.
earthers. I'm just a guy that has a lot of time that has dedicated his life to doing this. So I'm out there more than anybody. Are there people that are better than me? Sure. Everyone has their strengths. You have people like Eric Dubay. He was one of the first people out there. He speaks a lot of sense,
Yeah.
but sometimes he doesn't play nice with others, as we were
No,
talking about
people
before
kept
the show.
mentioning him to me when I was,
But
'cause I was just speaking to Dave before I come on here about
yeah,
like my aversion to flat earthers with the last year. Like I've been trying to get flat earthers on, and you just get abuse. I've not been asking anyone in any kind of a nasty way any questions. It's like, how does this work? And they'd be like, do your own fucking research. I'm not here to educate you. But they've been mouthing off through the whole thread. So just answer the
yeah.
question.
So there's that. Besides Eric, there's people like Hibbler Productions does great full-on documentaries, and Globebusters, which is a weekly show, a group of people.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of people with all different avenues of expertise, and
Right.
together, we may not all agree on everything. Some people say it's an infinite plane. Other people say no, it's a dome, and there's only just this. And other people say there's rings.
Is that not a problem? Is that not a problem for you? That there's
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Let me explain why. Because we're trying to figure this place out. One thing that we all 100% agree on, and it's scientifically provable, we're not on a spinning ball flying through an infinite space vacuum. So once you understand that, you don't have to call yourself a flat earther. You can just say, this world is misdescribed. Good. That's all you need to know. That's what you need to know. It's not the shape that matters. What's beyond Antarctica, we'll get into that. We don't know because it's off limits. That's really weird. So
wouldn't you like I just see it's quite ironic in a way when you say that, when you say scientifically provable. Every flat earther I've spoke to dismisses science completely. How would it be scientifically provable?
So people, you can get into the nitty gritty. What's science? If I go out and measure something, is that science? Well, people have different definitions. Here's the thing. Go out and do your own research, but let me show you what research you can go do. Let me go show you some things that you can go verify. Like before I learned about flat earth, I wouldn't even know what to check. Never even thought never knew there was a door there. Today, I'm going to show everybody a whole bunch of doors. Go through those doors yourself. I'll show you the way to go through them and figure it out. Because if you Google flat earth, Google flat earth, you might as well just be a glober forever, because you're not going to find anything that works. Like if you Google flat earth, this is what you end up with. This is ridiculous. Nobody believes that. People go, what? We're the only pancake planet, and all the other round planets, why aren't they flat also? No flat earther thinks this. Globers think that flat earthers think this, and they think we're crazy, and they're right. Because if we did think this, we would be crazy. We're not a flat disk. They're not flat disks. They're not balls. The entire helio-nonsensical model, I call it, is bunk. So,
yeah. I've seen you say that. So, with the when you say you don't believe that map there that you just showed, like obviously I've heard you say you don't believe there's this flat plane floating through space. I
don't believe that.
But you still believe that map is correct with the ice wall around the outside.
Well, see, I don't believe in the ice wall either. People say, show me a picture of the ice wall. How come people don't fall off the edge of the earth? And that's because there is not really an ice wall. There's an ice shoreline. So we live in a giant lake. Just our whole world, our known world, is a giant lake, right? And what formulates, if you're on a lake, on a boat, and you row to the end of the lake or sail to the end of the lake, can you fall off the lake? No.
Well, no, but you know what's
land
beyond
there.
It also.
So the edge of the lake, is that a lake? Is that a wall? No, it's the shoreline, right? It's the shoreline of the lake. And so basically our world is surrounded by higher land. Okay. Right. It's not a disk floating in space. Its shoreline is just frozen. And a lot of it is like a cliff. It's like a wall that's like 200 feet high there.
Right.
Okay. So we live in a pond where the edge of our pond is the land that we call Antarctica. Did you know that Antarctica is the highest land on Earth?
I believe I've heard it somewhere while I was doing this research, but obviously I don't know. You just listen to what
this
hear.
is, I mean, science tells us that makes perfect sense. Antarctica, this continent at the bottom of the ball has the highest landmass. It's the highest continent on Earth. Well, maybe that's why it's at the bottom. It's anchoring the ball down. That's completely ridiculous. Antarctica is not at the bottom of a ball. Antarctica is the shoreline that surrounds us. They took this whole thing and wrapped it around a ball. So the center of Antarctica is where all of this edge meets. Okay.
Right. Okay.
This is Antarctica. Antarctica is likely bigger than all of the oceans and all of the continents combined. Maybe 1,000,000 times bigger.
Right.
What does that do?
Just back up a bit.
Okay.
I wanted to kind of do. So first of all, let's talk about, I've just said this to you. I knew we'd go off on it straight away because
we always do.
It just goes into all different directions.
It happens all the time.
We'll get to the flat Earth model, if you like, later, a little bit in a little while. But first of all, the globe. So what are your proofs to you that the globe is nonsense? Other than not other than anything you say, because I've listened to you before, but obviously a lot of people listening or watching this wouldn't have done. So tell me.
So it's a funny question. You ask me, what makes me not believe in the globe? Well, let's look at the globe model. Once upon a time, there was nothing. It exploded and became everything. Cool story, right? Okay. You know what I got to do when I do this? I got to put on my cool story bro glasses. All right. Okay. It exploded and became everything. All right. And then somehow some of the rocky bits started sticking together just by this little light gravity. And as they got bigger, it created more gravity, it pulled in more and more and more rocks. And it just pulled it all together. And all of this material came together and became these spinning rock balls. At the same time, the gases, you ever open up a can of soda? What happens?
Yeah.
It's high pressure. It equalizes. Try opening up a can of soda in a vacuum. It would explode. So all the rocky balls are going together, creating planets and moons and asteroids. And all of the gases coalesce into make these giant gas balls. Somehow the gas balls start coalescing and they leave a vacuum in between. Okay, so now we have burning gas balls floating in a vacuum with so much mass that they're able to hold on to all of the planets that are with not even near them. If you look at a scale model of our solar system, it's ridiculous.
Get rid of them glasses. They're doing my head in. Every time you put your arms.
It's a cool story. It's a cool story, man. Those are my cool story bro glasses. Right? So now we have a physical impossibility. We have gas balls hurling and twirling and whirling. So we're spinning the spin of the Earth 1,000 miles an hour. That's faster than the speed of sound. So when you watch the sunset, the sun's not going down. You're falling over backwards faster than the speed of sound. Okay? We're orbiting the sun at 66,600 miles an hour. That's a funny speed.
Right.
Okay. 66,600 miles an hour. Let's put that into perspective. This is the hypersonic track. Ready? Here it comes. Hypersonic train. Did you see it?
Yep.
No, you didn't see it. You
see it.
I think you saw it. It went by at Mach 8.6. We are orbiting the sun 10 times faster than that. We're chasing the sun 90 times faster than that. These are not in straight pass, in circular or, speeding up, slowing down, elliptical pass. And we have lakes that look like this.
Right.
Imagine having a dinner plate filled with water and you're in a car. And that car starts to speed up, slow down, or take a turn. What's happening to that water? It's sloshing all over the place.
Is it?
I mean, lakes like this.
What about when you've got like a cup of tea on a plane? I'm doing 500 mile an hour on a plane. It ain't moving.
Yeah. So that's a plane's going in one direction. So let's make it a little more realistic to the Earth model. You have to double the speed of the plane. No, that's easy. And remove the outside shell of the plane because if you're on the Earth, you don't have a shell around you. You're not in a shell. You're on the outside of the ball. So remove the outside of the airplane, double the speed. How's your water doing?
I've never tested it.
Well, you would know it if you have a glass of water in a car going 60 miles an hour and stick it out the window, the water is going to blow right out of the glass.
But this is relative, isn't it, Lo? Like you can't like you could compare, like you could say to me, if you're doing 2 mile an hour, your cup of coffee is going to be fine. But you imagine doing 5,000 by 500 mile an hour, your cup of coffee is going to be all over the place. It's relative. It's not. If you're doing a consistent speed, surely the consistency will be there, and the speed is irrelevant.
That's it. That's not, none of this. We're speeding up and slowing down every time we're orbiting the sun. And when the sun's rising, we're chasing the sun at 1,000 miles an hour. And when the sun's setting, we've slowed down in our orbit 1,000 miles an hour. So every day we're speeding up and slowing down when we're going forward and backwards. It's like walking forward on a moving platform and then walking backwards on it. Okay. You have to believe that we're going in all of these directions. And by the way, it's not straight. We're curving. If you're going consistent speed,
is it a consistent curve?
Well, it speeds up and slows down. When we come near the sun, it's a tighter turn and it's faster, and then it slows down and comes back, slows down and comes back. Curving is acceleration. Curving is the same thing as acceleration. I don't care if you're going 100 miles an hour steady. As soon as you start turning, that's the same force as acceleration, right? We've been programmed. Oh no, it's all relative. It doesn't matter how fast you're going. I mean, they tell us we're going 66,600 miles an hour, chasing the sun at 500,000 miles an hour or faster. They might as well tell us it's 1 billion miles an hour, because it doesn't matter. It's all relative. It's all silly.
But it doesn't though. Like
it does. It
doesn't. If you're standing up on the back of a truck, say for instance, it doesn't matter what speed you're doing, you're not going to fly off the back.
What if the truck takes a turn?
Yeah, but that would be a sudden turn, very short, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be a gradual turn.
You have to look at the speed and the curve that we're going at. You do the math, the world would explode. The rim speed of the spinning of the Earth would make it explode.
Like, based on what would that happen?
Based on on doing all science. We have several videos where people
science.
people have, it's the rim speed. So if people say, well, you look at the clock, you can't even see it moving, and it's going twice the rotational speed of the Earth, the hour hand. Okay, it is. So imagine a merry-go-round, right? Merry-go-round with the horses and everything.
Yep.
And it spun once per day. You wouldn't even see it moving. You'd have to really stare at it.
But isn't that the example you could give for the Earth only turning once per day?
Let me give the example better. So now we expand that merry-go-round to 10 miles wide. Okay, so the circumference, it's moving. You could probably, you can walk that speed because it's going probably just, a third of a mile an hour or whatever. If you expanded it to 100 miles around, now you're going about 4 miles per hour. Okay, right, the outside rim. Now you expand it to 24,000 miles in circumference, which is the circumference of the Earth. The thing is going 1,000 miles per hour. I don't care that its rotational speed is once a day, that it's 15 degrees an hour. It's going 1,000 miles an hour on a curved trajectory. When you're going 1,000 miles an hour, the slightest curve whatsoever will lay a force on you. Okay, 1,000 miles an hour is 1,000 miles an hour, and that's the slowest speed of the Earth. As I showed you, we're going 10 times faster than that hypersonic sled. And we have water in a pressurized atmosphere. And that's the other thing. We live in a high pressure atmosphere. Pressure needs a container. You're drinking a soda there. When you opened it, it equalized. It equalized instantly. You can't have pressure without a container, period. Gravity is not a container.
What do people say to that argument?
They say gravity.
Right. You don't believe in gravity.
Well, gravity is a made up theory that's so bad that they have to I have to plug in my power. They have to add 96% dark energy and dark matter to make it work. And the high priest of scientism, Neil deGrasse Tyson, says, we've never seen dark matter or dark energy, but it has to be there or gravity just doesn't work. Well, it doesn't even work with that. There's so many problems with gravity. It's unbelievably ridiculous. I mean, if you believe in gravity, you believe that people in Australia, are upside down right now. That boats are upside. I pulled up the wrong image, but boats and oceans are upside down, spinning on a ball without a container.
But don't they say? I've watched a few things here. Now, don't they say that up is just up away from the Earth? Well, it doesn't matter where you are on the Earth. Up is up. You're not going to be upside down anywhere.
Oh, I agree with that. Point up right now. We're both pointing in the same direction. Point down right now. We're both pointing in the same direction.
So what's the downward force that's making things fall?
Yeah. So they claim that it's gravity, which is just a theory. But what it is the Earth has a measurable negative charge to it. The sky has a measurable positive charge. When you lift something off of the Earth, there's voltage in the air. I believe it's about 100 volts at 1 meter, 200 volts at 2 meters, 300 volts. There's free energy in the air. Scientifically testably provable. And the sun and the moon are the anode and the cathode of the Earth battery system. The salt water, not the fresh water, carries the current. The land is the salt bridge of the battery. And this is making free energy. This is, solar panels collect electricity. They're not collecting photons. Do you know that scientists don't know how solar panels work? They don't know. They have a theory. They say it's a theory, but they don't understand how they work. Because who made them? Where did this technology come from?
Isn't everything labeled as a theory, though? Like science,
well, not everything. No.
A lot of people, when you listen to scientists, most of them will always say that science is always evolving. We think we know. If it gets proven, we accept it, and where we go with that.
So why do the high priests of scientism say the science is settled? The Earth is a globe. We don't need to talk about it. We never need to talk.
I guess it would be because of the predictions they make based on the globe.
Which predictions are those?
Eclipses.
Well, no, they don't. Eclipses they go on the Soros cycle. They repeat every 18 years. There's one guy at NASA. I forget his name. He's the one that tells them when all the eclipses are going to be, and they're using old world technology for that. You ever hear of the Antarctica mechanism?
Nope.
So this was they were diving off of Greece, off the island called Antarctica. Coincidence. And they found this weird thing, and they took it out and they x-rayed it and MRI'd it and they rebuilt it. And it's a machine that perfectly predicts when the eclipses happen and the positions of several of the planets and the phases of the moon and the position of the sun, right? And this mechanical machine, and they showed that there's 2 cycles, and about every 18 years, all of the eclipses repeat again and again and again. Now, in the heliononsensical gravitational model, that makes no sense. We can't even predict with our world's best supercomputers 3 bodies. It's called the 3-body problem. You take a supercomputer and say, all right, I got a sun, it's got this much mass, I got a planet, it's got this mass, and it's going around, and the gravity, and it works perfectly, and a computer will predict where it's going to be any date in the future, any date in the past. Fine. Then you add one more body, either a moon or a planet, to that system, and the entire thing goes into chaos mode, and the computer can never guess what it's going to do next.
But don't they claim that they predicted the Neptune, was it, or Uranus?
They didn't predict it because it's all perfect cycles. Think about this. We have all of these alignments, of all these planets and stuff. How come the sun, when they all align, how come they don't tug on our moon or our Earth, or how come something doesn't get pulled out of place? That 3-body problem shows you that gravity is ridiculous. It doesn't work because everything goes into chaos mode. We have like 40 or 50 or 60 different bodies in our solar system alone, and never once do they ever tug on each other. The sun can hold on to all of the planets, but the planets hold on to their own moons, and the sun ignores those moons. That's ridiculous. When our moon is coming around our Earth towards the sun, if that's the sun, it's coming towards it, it should speed up and slow down and speed up and slow down, or get ripped away. Never happens. The sun's gravity ignores moons, but it holds on to distant planets so well that nothing ever changes, right? Nothing ever changes. We're in this beehive galaxy, and you go out and look at the stars tonight and look at them in 10 years from tonight, they'll be in the exact same position, but we've gone billions and billions of miles every year.
But they're saying that they say that's because they're so far away.
So and by the way, you are regurgitating all of the nonsense that I regurgitated. So don't feel bad. Let's talk about how far away they are.
You can't say that because you've got to have the conversation. You can't have that.
No. What I'm saying is, I had the same exact questions. This is why I'm ready for your questions.
Why would people that do these? What do scientists do, Dave? What do they do? If they don't
believe what they're told,
what do they do?
Because they believe, they have an assumption. all of these things assume the radius of the Earth to be 3,985 miles, just under 4,000 miles, whatever.
When are they incorrect though with their assumptions?
Because the one thing that they need to predict everything is the radius of the Earth. Nobody knows how they got the radius of the Earth. Nobody knows. There is no R value. Without R, you cannot predict anything, and they made it up.
What was the
so hold on. You're getting into you're just throwing questions and you're not letting me answer.
I'm trying to remember
I'm going to have the conversation with you. Hold on. You write down a question.
We're having
a
conversation.
I know, but there's two major points that we need to go over. I'm going to do the second one first.
Mm-hmm.
The R value. R is the radius of the Earth, a point from the center to the surface. So if my arm from my elbow is R, okay, right, center of the Earth, this is the curve of the Earth. This is the radius of the Earth, okay? That's how R works, all right? So with that radius, there's math that says, okay, well, the curvature drop is, whatever the formula is, doesn't matter. And that's the curvature. So we go out and we take our super zoom cameras on super clear, dry nights and, places up north. And we can see distances that would require an R value of over 250,000 miles. When they tell us the R value is just less than 4,000 miles. Okay, we can see things that you would need an Earth with an R value of 250,000 miles. That's a problem.
So you're talking about like supposed pictures from space. This is what you're saying?
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about terrestrial observations you can make yourself. You can go out and buy a Nikon P1000 camera with 125 times zoom, go out on a clear location and zoom in on things that should be miles below the curve, but you can see them.
Because this is another thing. This is another thing that I saw. What was the value? What did you say? What's the distance you should say to? I'll write it down. 8 point something meters squared, right?
It's 8 inches. Well, so here's the thing. If you take the 8 inches per mile squared, which is just a simple formula for it, it only works for the first 1,000 miles or so, and that's all you need.
Yeah,
because after that, it becomes a parabola.
That's what I was going to ask you. See, I didn't know because it's a parabolic.
Yeah, it's parabolic, but for the first couple hundred miles, it's dead on accurate. It's dead on accurate. Okay, but you don't need it. According to math, the globe math, the Earth, the size that they say it is, if you had a camera 1 foot off the ground, the horizon should be 1.2 miles away. A 6 foot tall person standing at the edge of calm water, the horizon that they should see should be 3 miles away. Go down to the water when it's calm and clear and not hot and humid and look and ask yourself how far that horizon is. And you can look and there's objects out there that you can see.
What have I seen? I've seen a couple of videos of boats disappearing beyond the horizon.
Yeah, right here. No boat. I'm zooming in. All I'm doing is increasing the angular size. Oh, what's that? There's a boat. So I'm going to zoom all the way in on this boat. You're going to watch it disappear from the bottom up. And that's just angular resolution. Ready? Here we go. We're backing out and watch the bottom of the boat will disappear. Then it'll go up to those buoys, right? And then it'll go up to the window.
No, it wasn't like that. It was completely zoomed on it, disappearing.
Yeah, well, this is the same thing. If the boat just went away, that's what happens.
Yeah, but you're just clearly zooming back.
I'm zooming back because I don't have time to let the boat go away. It's the same thing. So
fast forward it then.
It does. I am forward and back. It doesn't matter. So again,
I've never seen a video like when you watch on Flat Earth people, they'll say, "Look,
here we go. Here's one for you. Here's one." So we'll
just
wait until this boat. Yeah, the boat's going away. What do you want to do? The camera to move or the boat to move?
I want the boat to be almost static, going slowly, and it to disappear under the horizon.
It doesn't do that.
If you zoom in on it for long enough, it doesn't do it. I've watched it do it. I've seen videos.
Well, here's the thing. You're going to see the boat is going to start mirroring. There's all different weather conditions. Someone would say that this is the horizon, but look, the boat is already mirroring. This is the mirror line, right? The optics over the water are no way, you can't see, right? This is the mirror line right here. This is, you see where everything doubles? This is the real horizon is up here, not down here, right?
I don't know what I watched then. You're probably going to tell me that's bullshit.
So yeah, well, it's not bullshit because you're seeing different things.
I'm seeing it disappear over the horizon is what I saw. Like it's not something I'd recorded, so I can't verify it. But it's things that people have shown.
Let me share my.
And you're showing me this. Why would you be believed?
Well, no, because you can go out and do it yourself. You can go out and film these things yourself. That's the thing. And it looks different depending on when you film.
This is my issue with it, right? It's not, I'm not somebody, like we've been doing a podcast, we do all kinds of conspiracies and everything. And I am not averse to changing my mind on anything. I'm just trying to ask questions that I've been trying to ask. And I'm looking at your t-shirt and I'm looking at stuff that I know that you believe, and I'm bang on with you 100% with this stuff, right? But with this, it just, to me, when you get one side of the argument showing how clear and obvious it is that this is a sphere, and then you're over here saying that this is clear and obvious, who do I believe? Because I haven't done any of the tests.
Don't believe it. Don't believe me. Whatever you do, don't believe me. But here's the thing. As I said before, it's very difficult to find the information. This is my app that I created that believe that if you Google flat Earth, you're going to find garbage. But here in my app, if you hit the question mark, up come all the questions you're going to ask. Right here, ships over the horizon. If you click this will pull up a playlist, hit open YouTube, and a playlist of videos that they don't want you to see. What I recommend that you watch is all of these, but right near the top, the third one down, called Mirror Line Empty Thea Princess. Okay, this one will watch this ship slowly move into the distance, and it'll disappear from the bottom up, and they will explain as it's going what you're seeing so you can understand it. These are tons of videos that show all different ways that you see ships appear to go over the horizon. Explain scientifically, explain with examples, explain with videos, and showing you how you can do it yourself. These are videos that YouTube will not serve you. So here's the thing. This is why people get upset, because the way you're coming at this is, I saw this, and then like, you know what, just go do your own research. And I'm telling you the same thing, but I'm showing you where to do the research. That playlist alone will take that question out of your mind. All of the questions that you want are here. Hey, what about eclipses? If I click that, you're asking about eclipses, it'll explain the Soros cycle. It'll explain what you're seeing. It'll explain impossible eclipses like this one right at the top here. It's called the Seleninian eclipse, where we can see the sun and the moon at the same time while the lunar eclipse starts. Well, that's impossible. You can't have them both above the horizon and have them being in line, right? But we can see the moon come in from the top. All of these videos are videos that even if you search them by name and channel, YouTube will not serve them to you. They're shadow banned. They don't want you to see them.
I know all about YouTube. I'm on about my second strike. I'm hoping to avoid certain subjects on here so it doesn't get pulled.
So again, in here, all sorts of stuff that will help you with your research. I can't do the research for you. I can show you some things, and I can
understand
show you where to go research
it just seems to me sometimes with you and with a lot of people that I've tried to speak to, you get very you just want to hand wave things away more than there's a lot of things you can say that I didn't know, right? But you
absolutely.
You'll cite science when it's convenient to you, but dismiss it when I'm trying to use it.
Well, you're saying you saw a boat go over the horizon, and I'm saying
I've seen videos. I've not seen it. But then, what do I know what I'm watching? This is what I'm saying. Like, you're showing all this stuff. How do I know that's not bullshit? If you're going to say that what I saw wasn't true, then how does anyone know that
that wasn't true? I'm saying your interpretation of it isn't what you're saying.
Clearly zoomed in.
What I'm showing you. Hold on, let me finish. There's tons of videos that will explain what you're seing, and then when you're done, you're like, "Hey, that's interesting. Let me go film that myself." That's what you need to do. Believing in the globe is easy. I believe it. Bill Nye, the lion guy with the bow tie, told me that boats go over the horizon.
Not me, though.
And they showed me a model of a boat going over a physical horizon. Guess what? Boats, if the Earth was a globe, the boats would go over a physical horizon. But the things that we see don't line up with that.
Are there any people like from the science community? I know that you think it's all bullshit, but is there anybody that agrees with you?
Oh, there's lots of. We have pilots and
because I don't see them. I really want to be careful what I say here, because I don't want to get pulled. But what's been going on over the last couple of years, the virus, etc. There's definitely a split in the medical profession there that you can find, and you can say this person believes this and this person believes the total opposite. I don't find that with flat Earth. I don't find that the science community is split on the shape of the Earth and that you can find all of these credible or seemingly credible people on this side saying it's flat, and all of these people with this evidence saying it's just people like yourself.
I disagree with that. I think it's exactly the same.
So why have I missed that?
Let me explain. So in this, we have people that have taken the time, like myself and all of these other people that I mentioned, and many, many, many others that have taken the time to actually critically think, look, and test themselves, and not just believe what they were taught in the Rockefeller textbooks. They're the ones that went out and have verified and didn't buy the mainstream and can see reality. Then you have people that have done no research, that don't know what the flat Earth model is. They think the flat earthers think we're a disc in space.
Do you not think that happens on both sides?
Let me finish my point. They don't know that they're corkscrewing through space in their model. They have no idea what their own model is, and they have the misconception of what the other model is. Those people are indoctrinated. Then we have people like Dr. Sherry, I don't want to say her last name, and we have many other people, and Amanda Vollmer, and all of these other people that have used their brains, used their education, used their real world experience, and see the hoax that is happening to the world right now. Then you have the people that are indoctrinated, doctors indoctrinated, that just believe everything. People are like, you know what, I'm a hospital administrator, and the more people I list with the Rona, the more money the hospital makes. So, right. And then the doctors are like, they get huge payments for if they get all of their people.
I got that right.
Jab.
Okay, enough.
yeah. So
I've been pulled for stuff like this.
Yeah, no problem. So it's the exact same break. You have the people that think and other people that follow.
Quickly, how long have you got? Have we got an hour here?
We do. I have so like 5 after the hour.
Okay, right. Okay, so we'll move on.
About 30 minutes.
So I want to do more on the globe, but obviously,
Sure.
I don't want to talk about that the whole time. So I've seen you a couple of times. You do some NASA stuff to talk about like where they're supposedly taking pictures of the Earth from space, etc. And I find this stuff quite interesting. So can we just do a bit on that? And what you don't believe there was ever a moon landing? Do you believe man's ever been into space? You don't believe in space? Do you believe in a dome that you can't get past? Or do you believe in a line in a place in the sky that you can't get past? What do you believe?
I believe that the sky that we see is flat. I believe it's rotating. I don't know what it is. I don't know how far it is. I don't think it's nearly as far as a lot of flat earthers think. I think it's a lot closer. There's a lot of evidence that it's like 72 miles up, where there's a density layer that gets thicker. Don't know much about it. I really couldn't tell you because I can't go there. It's off limits. Isn't it weird that the places that can prove what the Earth is are off limits, which is, space and
what do you mean off limits?
Antarctica. Well, I mean, can you get to space? No, it's off limits to normal.
I've got the money to go anywhere.
Right. It's not even money because nobody can go there. It's all nonsense. And then Antarctica, no one is allowed to even bring fuel beyond 60 degrees south. That's not even close to Antarctica. Right. No one is allowed to go there and explore independently. What's up with that?
Could you see these balloons going up, trying to prove curvature or disprove curvature? So it doesn't prove a single thing. It wobbles around all over the fucking place.
Well, here's one right here, 120,000 feet, and it stayed up there for a long time. And when it landed right near where it took off. So the Earth is spinning 1,000 miles an hour below it.
Why would the sun not be bigger when they go up?
It's because it's right there. It's because, again, the sun that we see, I don't believe it is a physical object. I think it's more of a projection, like a magnification through some sort of dome. But again, we don't know. You can't go there. The sun is, every time we send a balloon up, it's never above us, ever. It's always at the same level.
Would you accept from a glober or whatever you call them? I don't know to anything, because that's what you're saying there.
Well, here's the thing: globers think they know everything. What does the glober say that they don't know? Yeah, they know the distance to the sun is 93 million miles. You know how they got that?
No, see, things like that I'll agree with you on. I don't know how they got that, because that's bullshit. How can you possibly get that?
So again, they don't have R, the radius of the Earth. R. They don't have R. No one's ever been able to figure R. So that's how everything is figured based off of R. Without R, the entire model falls apart.
If nobody's figured R, how are you getting your measurements of how far you should see?
Well, because they're telling us what R is. We should only be able to see
you're just disproving what size that they say. Hold on,
you asked me a question. Let me answer.
Well, I'm elaborating on my question.
Yeah, no problem. They tell us what R is. So I say, okay, if that's R, we should only be able to see this distance. And not only can we see that distance, we can see long, long, long beyond that distance. So, for example, if they tell us R is what it is, a camera at 1 foot should see the horizon at 1.2 miles away. So we have a camera at 1 foot here, and these aren't boats. These are oil rigs. So we know exactly how far they are. It's 6.2 and 9.4 miles. Well, according to the R measurements of Earth, the horizon should be less than 2 miles away. Well, there should be 59 feet of curvature here. But not only is there not 59 feet of curvature, we can see the surface of the water for, I don't know, dozens of miles beyond that. There should be hundreds of feet of curvature. But somehow, and here's the baller's answer to that. That is below the curve, but it's refracting up and stopping right at your eye level. It's ridiculous. It's the dumbest thing ever.
That does look, that one behind your head, that does look a little bit distorted there. The thing
it is distorted, absolutely. Atmospheric compression is a thing. So when you're looking, especially over water, at something into the distance, the bottom gets compressed due to, it's called atmospheric compression. And this is something you can see yourself, and it'll get compressed right into the horizon. So I'm trying to find a quick image here. So people say the floors, they're behind the curve. Well, all of these decks are the same width, but look, they're getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and they get crunched together. That's not because of curvature. That's because of atmospheric compression. This line right here is not the horizon. This is called the wave front edge. By the way, watch that video in the What About Boats Over the Horizon, the Thea Princess one. It'll fully explain why you see this as a horizon. Can I show you a quick 1 minute demonstration of how the sun sets and how we see the horizon? So if you were sitting right next to a big building, well, the top of the building is all the way up there. But if you move that building 20 miles away, the top of the building is right at your eye level, okay? Because everything gets compressed into the horizon, into the distance.
Yeah.
Okay? So here's my flat earth kitchen. See this line? It's level.
Right.
It's level, and I'm moving the sun across this level line, and I'm viewing it from a celestial point of view, basically the same height as the sun. This could be mountains, it could be cloud deck, whatever, atmospheric deck, but I never go below it. It's opaque. You can agree that this line is level. Now I'm going to show you from a camera on the table from the other end from a terrestrial point of view. And if I showed you this first, I would say, is this line level? And you'd say, doesn't look level, looks like it's going down. I say, is this sun going below this opaque thing? And you'd be like, well, yeah, it is. Well, it's not, all right? Because it's going level. This is a level line. Now look at it, almost going straight down. And it's just because it's moving away. Now I'm going to compare this to a real sunset. Right here is a real sunset. That's not the horizon. Look at this. It's going by, this is called the atmospheric deck of opacity. But if I zoomed out this distance between this line and the horizon line, you couldn't see it. It just crunches into the horizon. It just merges all together, and that's how you see it. So you're just seeing the sun go down like that. Yep. And that's not what you're seeing. It's just going away.
I see that. So anyone that's listening to this, go watch the YouTube and you'll see what that was. Because that was a pretty good demonstration. So right, let's get on to the flat Earth model then. I'm gonna have to get. We've got about 15 minutes here, so I'm gonna have to get past. Just basically to cut it short, I'm pretty much with you on everything you say about NASA, and I'm pretty much with you on everything you say about space. I think I am. I haven't seen any evidence to persuade me that anything much happens up there if there isn't up there. So I've seen these. Yeah. I'd love for people to see this, but you can just Google Dave and you can see these on others. I really want to get onto the flat Earth
FlatEarthDave.com.
FlatEarthDave.com. Right, here we go. So the flat Earth model. Come on, can we see this? What do you know? Are you sure about anything on the flat Earth model?
I'm not sure about anything, but the flat Earth map that we use is the Gleason map. That is the most accurate map that we have. Is it perfect? Probably not. Does it make sense? Can you navigate by it? Yes. You know, the globe model is ridiculous. Doesn't make any sense. I mean, when you look at, you've seen plane flights, right? What's going on with plane flights? Southern plane flights?
Southern hemisphere.
Yeah, they absolutely prove. So if you go from Santiago, Chile to Australia, you know, the quickest route would just be zip right across Antarctica, or just around Antarctica. That would be the quickest path, right? But it goes all the way up to North America, across, and all the way back down. Why would they do that?
Stop. And there is direct flights there.
There is direct flights. And let me show you the direct flight to Western Australia. Let me tell you the route that they go. They go all the way up here. They go all the way over to China and
That's not what, I was looking at this yesterday because this came up, and they were showing the flight path would be straight across the ocean, a slight curve.
Well, they don't do that, because this is the flight path right here.
How would it take 13 hours then? That's what it takes.
It doesn't. It takes longer than that. But
no.
Let me explain. Let me finish.
But
the flight path goes all the way up across.
Direct flight. You're not. That's not true. They said it was 13 hours.
Have you taken it? Because we have.
Sorry.
Let me explain the flights. But this curved path that they're showing on the globe is a straight line to Western Australia. It's a straight line. Airplanes fly straight and level over an Earth plane. So we had Max Egan, who
I've literally got screenshots here.
Screenshots of what?
Of the flights that I looked up yesterday that took 13 hours from Santiago to Sydney.
Yeah, okay. So that's fine. But again, these flights also vary, sometimes up to 5 hours.
But on your map, that would be impossible to go across the ocean that way.
My map. So here's the thing. How fast is that plane going? Do you have any idea?
Why would it be at the usual speed?
No. Well, what if it was going twice the speed?
Why would it be going twice the speed?
Because it could take half the time.
But what? So you're suggesting that the flight just off of that route is going at 1,000 miles an hour?
So the planes that fly from Santiago to Australia are a special plane, only run by a half a dozen military pilots. Those planes, if you do some research into them, have 7 layers of heat-resistant paint on them. Why is that? Why do they have 7 layers of heat-resistant?
I've not seen that at all. Qantas and some other.
Yeah, no, Qantas is. I think Qantas is the only one. Maybe someone else is going to do it now.
LA, somewhere or another.
Yeah, but if you look at these actual routes, so I was saying, not a flat earther, a flat earth hater who's now a globe denier now that he sees it. Max Egan took the flight, and he took compass readings on the way, and the compass readings didn't make sense, right? He was going northwest, then going west and going southwest, and we charted it on a map, on the flat earth map, and his compass readings matched this route. Okay. But the seat back was showing him going down and around, heading south and west. That's where they showed him he was. That's where flight radar said he was, but his compass readings only make sense on a flat earth map. Okay.
So the pilots know that the earth is flat, all of them.
Oh, but yes, all the Qantas pilots do. They admit that they talk about it privately amongst themselves in their lounges, but they can't talk about it publicly because they'd be fired. We interviewed a KLM pilot on the show Globebusters. I recommend everybody watch that, a weekly show on Wednesdays and Sundays. And she explained how, when they're doing these long flights where the sun doesn't set and how the gyros work, it literally proving flat Earth. And she was grounded the next day and fired. Okay. And there's other, in the app, what about pilots and scientists? Are they all lying? Click that button. Testimony by well-experienced pilots, retired pilots, talking about how it's flat, right? How it's flat. I mean, think about this. The Earth is spinning 1,000 miles an hour at the equator, but it's not spinning 1,000 miles an hour in northern Alaska. It's spinning maybe, 200 miles an hour because it's a much smaller circle up there.
Yep.
And you're flying from there to Ecuador. Well, when you're sitting on the runway, your relative speed, according to the spin of the Earth, is like 200-300 miles an hour. You take off, you fly to Ecuador, and you want to land on the equator. Ecuador is on the equator. You want to land on a runway that is spinning sideways at 1,000 miles an hour, right? Or this way. How do you gain that 1,000 miles an hour of sideways speed? And you can't just say gravity. You can't say that it's speeding up. The air is velcroed to the Earth. And as you go from very, you know, like if you took off on the North Pole, you're not moving at all. How do you get that 1,000 miles an hour of sideways momentum?
If
That's
gravity
impossible.
existed, that would all be possible, wouldn't it? This is what people
No,
believe. See, I
absolutely
don't
not.
understand. What do you, just quickly on gravity, I want to get back to the flat earth really, really fast, but something
Yeah.
I forgot on gravity. What is the Cavendish experiment then? If nothing's ever proved gravity, is that a thing? Because I don't know what
No,
it
it's
is.
not
This
a
is what
thing
people talk
because
about, right?
there's so many flaws with the Cavendish experiment. Science, you know, people on the globe side, they've given up on that. It's never been proven. You know, there's so many flaws
Do
with it.
people
You
not
know,
do that at school still?
no, it's ridiculous. Static charges, you know, there's so many problems with that. It's ridiculous. You know, he's got two lead balls in a barn that are attracting to each other. What about Mount Everest? How come Mount Everest doesn't make me stand like this? You know, right? If you're spinning on a ball, think about this. You got a ball and you spin it really fast. Well, at the equator, if you have little strings on the ball, the strings would stick out perfectly sideways. But a string on Alaska, it would stick out parallel to that because the force would be throwing things outwards. So the farther north or south you go, you'd have to lean over to maintain balance. That's ridiculous. It's completely, totally ridiculous.
See, I can't speak on that because I don't know.
Right.
You say it sounds ridiculous, but
yeah,
obviously to somebody else they would have explanations for that. I'd love to see a debate. Like I want somebody to debate somebody like you to debate somebody else that's debunking all this stuff.
There are a group of globe trolls out there with ridiculous arguments. It's pointless to debate them. We wanted to debate Neil deGrasse Tyson. We wanted to debate Bill Nye, the lying guy with the bow tie, or lying box from Europe. We want to debate these guys, but they say there's no such thing as a flat earther. Flat earthers don't exist. We don't need to talk to flat earthers. You know, there's no time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society. These are things that they've programmed into us. Like, you know, some things are just, we can't discuss them.
Yeah.
Right.
I get that. I get that. I get that with certain other things going on as well, and when they kind of had that attitude. Yeah. So I understand what you're saying, but it would be good. It would be very interesting. I think it would.
It sure would be, because
like
they'd be destroyed instantly.
Can we? They do say the same though. They don't take it seriously. You're not taking them seriously. Everybody's kind of saying that from afar, aren't they?
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. Anyway, quickly, your sun. I want to talk about the sun on the flat Earth model. What is going on? This is the most confusing thing of all to me. You're saying it moves between two tropics, right? Is that what you're saying?
Well, absolutely. It does move between two tropics.
How?
So I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
Well, what makes it move? I don't know.
Why is it moving at different speeds and why?
Is it?
Well, it would have to.
No, it is. When it goes over the Tropic of Capricorn, it's moving faster. So here I'm showing you on the model. The sun goes around, it chases the moon, and it laps the moon every 28 days. So the sun, wherever the sun is, it's noon. And the moon in its position keeps tracks of the weeks and months. There used to be 13 months of 28 days, but they hijacked that also. And it rotates in between the two tropics. The inner circle is the Tropic of Cancer. Where are you located?
Where am I? UK. Just outside of London.
Okay, so your summer is my summer. We're in the inner north. Yeah. Okay, we have the Arctic summer. Okay, when the sun is over the tropic, let me slow it down, and I'll bring it into August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. So in June, the sun is over the Tropic of Cancer. Look, it's going over Miami, Florida. It's going over Mexico. It's hot there because the sun is close. It's high over their heads. It's winter time in Australia because the sun is far away.
Why would it change speeds? Later,
well, just like it's not changing speeds. It goes
slow around the sky.
Is the end of the hour hand going faster than the middle part of the hour hand? The answer is kind of yes. No, but its angular speed is the same, but it's going faster. Let me explain. How do we know it's going faster? In the north, in June, when the sun sets, how long is it kind of light outside? Here, it's like 90 minutes, almost 2 hours sometimes. It's still light. You with me?
Yeah.
Because in the north, when the sun is in the north here, let me bring it back to the north. When the sun is in here, it's moving slower and it's arcing around us because we're in the Arctic. It's arcing around us. Okay.
Right.
But in the south, in December, in places like Central America or Central Africa, I went a little too far, but that's right. The sun is moving away. When the sun sets there, 5 minutes later, it's pitch black. Why is that? It's because the sun that they see is moving much, much faster. Right? And so, yeah, that's how it moves. So now, how does it work? I believe that the sun that we see, there's lots of evidence. And once you start going down this rabbit hole, what they call the second sun or the spirit sun or the source sun. The sun is outside of the dome and it's being reflected in or focused in, like a magnifying glass could focus the sun to a point. So that's how we see the sun. This is my opinion. And again, I don't have any proof of this. I'm just going to do experiments to show it. And so let's say you're standing in a room and you have a flashlight and you're pointing it 3 feet in front of you and you spin around once in a minute, right? So you draw a line on the floor with that circle, right? And that's drawing a 3 foot radius circle, right? The R value of that circle is 3 feet. And it drew a circle with a circumference of whatever, 9 feet, whatever it is. Then you point the light 6 feet out from you, and you spin around once in a minute, same rotational speed. Okay. Well, now you're doing a circle with a radius of 6 feet. Did that speed up? Yeah, it did. Did you speed up? No, you did not. Just the angle of the focus of the energy that you were pointing into the Earth system. That's all you change is just the angle.
So you're suggesting that the sun is outside of the dome?
The source sun, that is my suggestion, yes.
And the moon is inside of the dome?
Nope, same thing. That's why when you think about this, when we have an eclipse, right? When we have an eclipse, this is a lunar eclipse. When we have a solar eclipse, I got to add that to my repertoire here. So when we have a solar eclipse, nobody from anywhere, not from the moon, not from the space station, not from a high-flying aircraft, not from the ground, not from any telescope, any infrared lens, nobody has ever seen the moon approach the sun. You just see something eclipse the sun, and then you've never seen it leave the sun and move away. No one's ever seen it, right? And people are, well, that's because the sun's so bright, you can't see it, it's blinding you. Well, during a total solar eclipse, the entire sun is being blocked. And you should be able to zoom in and see the features on the moon. No one's ever done it. No one's ever done it.
What would you suggest causes an eclipse?
So let me show you this one thing. I'm going to show you an actual video, and I'll explain eclipse. So if we go into the app and we go to the frequently asked questions and we go to the eclipses and we open up the YouTube there and we look at this video right here. So this is an experiment that I did. And I'm just going to go through it real quick. You with me?
Yep.
So this is the real eclipse on the right, which I filmed myself, and my model eclipse on the left kind of looks the same. Okay. So this is somebody filmed this during an eclipse. This sun is almost totally eclipsed. But right here, can you see my mouse?
Yep.
All right. Right here this is how much the sun is eclipsed, but we really can't see it just because it's blown out. This is a lens flare that's moving all around, but this one's not moving. Why isn't that moving? What is that? How come it's not moving? It's not a lens flare, okay? Mind you, this looks like a big sun, but it's really eclipsed. It's just blowing out the lens, okay? What is this that's locked? I suggest that this is the source sun, okay? And you can't see the moon because it's a new moon. So I'm creating the same thing. Here's the source sun.
Sorry,
hold on. I can't stop this. So I just got to explain it through.
Yeah.
So this is the eclipse. Now you don't see this. You don't see the moon coming into eclipse it. Let me just jump forward. Okay. So here it is. I did it with a thinner piece of paper, and look right there. There's the source for this. This is the source for what we're seeing. This is the real light for what we're seeing. Did you see it?
Yeah.
Did you see? So this is the projector behind the sun. Outside this sheet is the firmament. Okay. There it is. So that's my model of what I think it is.
So am I correct in saying you think that that's something outside of the dome that's projecting in and interfering with what it's projecting?
I just did a little experiment that kind of replicated exactly what we see in reality. So you tell me.
I would say I don't know. This is what I mean, though. It's like there's
I
a
don't
lot
know
of there's a
either.
lot of
I
not
don't know either.
sures. But that's why this is a debate. Do you know what I mean? I really want to get, because I'm pissed off. I need to get you on again for another hour because I've got so much stuff I want to ask and we're nearly out of time. But quickly, I want to ask you this: is it true? So in December, I've read that the sunlight is on the tip of South America, 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. But yet, in a place in Alaska, it's endless night.
Dark. Correct.
How could that happen? How could that happen on that map? How do you get that to illuminate somewhere for 70% of the day without touching the other place?
Yeah. So I'm trying to find my my sunlight video. The way it works is, here is a light outside of the dome, and I'm moving it in and out, and it's creating light pattern.
Yeah.
And here is time and date, actual light patterns. So when the sun is out near the dome, it wraps around. It wraps around. So watch over here. When I move it outwards, the light will wrap around and give you great amounts of daylight. So there's very little dark.
Why would that happen? What is the dome then? Glass?
Maybe. I don't know.
But this is another thing. We started this off by you saying that this is so ridiculous that people believe it. I mean, I don't believe. I don't believe. The Big Bang sounds just as ridiculous to me as it does to you, right? But
what's going on here? Why do we see three suns?
Hold on, I've got no idea. Hold on, right? So you said for the explosion to be an endlessly expanding universe is all ridiculous, but something must have created a flat Earth from nothing.
Yes.
So what?
A creator.
So, as in what? A God that people believe in, or just a creator?
I don't know. It's intelligently designed. We are not random specks from nothing. They want the controllers that are putting this satanic Rona thing out on us want us to believe that we are specks of nothing flying through an infinite universe.
Could we not be created in that sense?
In what sense?
The Big Bang. A creator created the Big Bang, knowing where it would lead.
So there's a Big Bang. It's just because the Big Bang it blows away every law of physics. Every law of physics. It's just impossible.
You don't believe in physics, Dave.
That's who said that.
You say
I absolutely
often
believe in physics.
But physicists are wrong with everything they say about the globe.
That's astrophysics. Listen to the words. There's so much. There's nonsense. Physics, a rock is hard. It falls through the air. That's physics.
Right,
okay. Gravity pulling it down. That's pseudoscience.
But do you not see what I'm saying? That everything comes from nothing at some point, or how does it get there? So each argument is as insane as the other if you're going to take it that way.
Well, here's the thing. The world is an intelligently created design system. That's provable. I mean, your eyeball didn't evolve from mutations. It was intelligently designed, right? It didn't just happen. You didn't evolve from pond scum by random mutations. That's ridiculous. It's the dumbest thing ever. Okay. So the entire idea of, a tornado going through a junkyard, building a 747 and a MacBook Pro in a box gift wrapped is less spectacular than what we have here being created by an accident, right? This is intelligently designed. Who is the creator? That's for you to figure out. That's your own journey. I personally think that we are here with a soul. Our soul is the currency of this world. And our job is to maintain control of our soul and expand the mind of the creator. That's it. That's what our job is here. It's very simple. We could all do it, but they've hijacked our minds. They've locked us in a box. That's the ball. And they've got us believing that we're random specks through an infinite universe and there's no creator and that we should just be out for ourselves. They don't want that. They don't want us in a situation where we can't deny a creator and an understanding that the earth is not a Big Bang heliocentric spinning water ball.
I wanted to ask you this because I understand what we're running out of time here. I really need to. I'd have to schedule with you to come back on at some point because there's so many. This is such an interesting. There's so many ways we can go with it. But I wanted to ask quickly. You say that I've heard you say that the reason, because everyone says, why would they do this? What's the point? It would be just as easy to control on a flat plane as we would on a globe, blah, blah, blah. And you say that it's to keep us scared and to think that we're vulnerable in the universe and all this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And to keep the constant fear. Do you think they need that now? Look at what's happened
100%.
Recently. They've basically a fucking virus that is ridiculously, if it exists, even they say
God
it's
bless Dr.
99%.
Fauci. He's the greatest scientist in the world. So they have your mind in a box. They have the way they got away with this nonsense is because they have you believing that you're spinning out of control, lost in space, and that you have no power. They have you believing that there's no other place to go, that there's no other lands beyond Antarctica, that we're trapped here. Okay, they have us believing that we're running out of resources, that we're running out of food, that we're running nuclear bombs are going to blow us up, that there's overpopulation. All of that is nonsense. They have us living in fear. They're controlling our minds with the television programming. And now there's enough pushback and people get off their asses and start not complying with what's going on. We may get our freedom back for a little bit, but how long can we keep it when we don't know where we are, who we are, what we are, or the powers of our mind? Everything you have in your life, you created with your thoughts. You brought everything in. You created your podcast because you thought about it. Everything you have in your life is from the thoughts that you magnetically pull into your body. If you're thinking horrible things are going to be drawn to you. The universe conspires to give you what you think. Your thoughts have great power. And the farther out you throw your thoughts, the more you can bring in. Well, they've put our thoughts in a ball. They've stopped us from reaching out. They stopped us from understanding how powerful we are, where we are, what we are, and they have us fighting, Stockholm Syndrome, fighting for our captors. The earth is a ball because I'm so indoctrinated I can't see past what Bill Nye said to me as a child. He showed me the boat going over the curve. The boat going over the curve is the easiest thing to debunk, but you have to take the time to look, and you have to know where to look. Because if you just start to boats over the horizon, flat earth, you're going to get nonsense. You're going to give up and you're going to believe you live on a ball. I showed you my app is the best way to find this stuff. And he's selling an app. That's what's going on. Yeah, I'm selling an app because it's the best thing to save you from yourself. The app is $3. $3, one-time charge. There is a pop-up that says, would you like to subscribe? Because a lot of people want me to put more stuff in the app. Subscribe if you want. You don't have to. You still get everything. Okay? You still get everything. You get one pop-up, exit out, it's gone. No commercials, no ads, no nothing, and you still get everything. So people don't freak out. You're buying me almost a beer. Okay? Almost. Right? It's the highest rated app in the app stores. You don't even need to get the app. Just go to the App Store, the Google Play Store, find the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. Make sure it's by Blue Water Bay because they already have one in the Google Play Store that has the same name. That's done by the Flat Earth Society people, the Ron Media Group, and it's to capture weak minds. You go there, you look at their app, you're going to give up on Flat Earth. You're also going to send me an email telling me my app sucks, but it's not my app. All right, my app is the highest rated app. Just go read the reviews. Don't buy the app. Go read the reviews, and you will become a globe denier minimum. So there you go. You can find me at flatearthdave.com. That'll bring you to my website. They'll show if you forget the name of the app because it's long and convoluted. I know. Flatearthdave.com.
What is it called?
The links are there.
That's just out of curiosity. There's a very long
name. Why
name.
is it called the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app? Because there was other Flat Earth clocks, Flat Earth Clock app. There was all these other just really crappy apps out there, and I had to come in with something that would separate it and show up in Google searches. And this is what I came up with. Is there a better name out there? I don't know, but it's working. So it's very easy. If you go search in the Apple Store, just type in Flat Earth, it'll be the #1 hit. But they're hiding it on Google Play. But just scan this QR code or just go to flatearthdave.com. The links are right there. And make sure it's by Blue Water Bay and make sure it's got the highest rating in the App Store. Even with the trolls going after me, it's the highest rated app, of any app that has lots of ratings.
Cool. Okay, we're going to have to end it here then. Dave.
Yep.
I'm going to have to schedule with you to come back on because I want to do this.
Here's the deal, though. Here's the deal I have for you. You need to spend a lot of time going through my app. Watch the daily video every day for a couple months. All right. And then we'll do it again. Just watch that daily video and that'll lead you into other things and you'll have a really good time. Okay. You'll have a really good time. And watch, if you hit the web button, on the app. Let me just show you one more thing because this is going to be very, very cool. If you hit the web button, there's a thing called the history of flat Earth. Right in the middle, the lost history of flat Earth.
Right.
There's a 5-hour documentary in there. 5 hours? Are you kidding me? Watch 10 minutes of it, because then you'll watch 10 more minutes of it. And if you watch 20 minutes, you won't be able to turn it off, and it will blow your mind. The other thing I'm adding to the app, which for those of you that are flat earthers and are feeling isolated because you've lost all your friends and family because they think you're crazy, you hit this little handshake button, which is coming out. It's not out yet. And up come a map of the world. I just have a few testers on here now. I'm just about to add about 100 more testers. And you zoom in and you can tap on one of them and go, oh, look, that's Karen B. And I could say, hi, right? This is an old version. And she gets a text message.
Oh, you're going to have everyone flirting with each other, Dave. They'll be sending each other nudes and shit.
You can well, no, you can no pictures and stuff. And, here's some people in the UK. You're in the UK, right?
Yeah.
All right. So you got a couple in here. But this is just with like a dozen or so dots on here. As soon as I take this live, there's going to be over 100,000 dots on here. So people are going to be sending me messages going, it's just a blue blob. I'm like, zoom in, just zoom in.
Really quickly. I've got one more minute. One more question that I've wanted to ask and I didn't ask. Has your map got a scale? I've never seen a scale on a flat Earth map. Where's the scale? And does it work?
Go to the. I mean, it's in the app somewhere, but just go to the Gleason's map. Explanation of the Gleason's map. It works perfectly. Right. It's a perfect scale.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
Thanks for coming on, Dave. And hopefully I'll catch you another time.
All right, man. Thanks. Send me a link when this is up. I'll add it to the app, and you'll be in the interview section.
Yeah, we'll do. Probably won't go up till sort of next week. The podcast will be going out Sunday, and I'll probably put this up on YouTube on Monday. All right.
Beautiful. Thanks.
Cool. Thanks for coming on. Cheers.
See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.